Good morning, students. How are you? Are you okay? Enjoying the chapter that is morphology of flowering plants? I know you must enjoying this chapter because this is so much interesting. So let's continue chapter 5 of class 11, that is morphology of flowering plants. In the last class, I have told about the different parts of the plant. We have already studied our root, then stem, and some parts of leaf. Today we will start our topic from types of leaves. Here we should have to understand how many types of leaf you know. There are two types of leaves. One is simple and one is compound. On what basis they are divided as simple and compound? Remember, if we tear the lamina of the leaf, suppose this is a mango leaf. If we tear, this is lamina, okay. If we tear the lamina of the leaf, then it will not directly touch the midrib. This is midrib. This type of leaf is called simple. Clear? And what is compound? Compound leaf means when it touches the midrib. In compound, it touches the midrib. Like your monocots. Monocots. Okay. So here again compound leaf is divided into pinnately compound and palmately compound. So what are pinnately compound and what are palmately compound? We have to understand this. Pinnately compound means I am going to show you that when, is that clear? Is it visible to you? So if the leaves arise from the rachis, like in this fashion, then this is called pinnately. And palmately means when the leaves are arise from a common point like this. Is it clear to you? Is it clear? So next, this is your pinnately and palmately. Palmately is seen in silk and pinnately seen in neem, which I have showed you. Next is your phyllotaxy. What is phyllotaxy? Arrangement of leaves on the axis or on the branch or on the stem. So we can define phyllotaxy as arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch, means how the leaves are arranged on the stem or branch. They are again divided into three types. One is alternate, one is opposite, and one is fold. What do we mean by alternate? Alternate means if the leaves are arise, suppose this is the branch and leaves are arise like this. One here, one here, one here, and one here. Means only one leaf can arise from a single node. So this type of arrangement is called alternate. Clear? Next is your opposite. Opposite means, which I have showed you just now, this type of arrangement means one leaf from here, one leaf from here. So this type of arrangement is called opposite, means from one node two leaves are arise. From here, from one node, only one leaf arises. But in case of opposite, two leaves are arise like this. You can see, this is a common point and two leaves are arise. One here and one here. One here and one here. So this type of arrangement of leaves is called opposite, means one opposite to another. Clear, students? Next is your fold. Fold means when many leaves are arise from a common point. This type of arrangement. This is the node and many leaves arise from the common point. Again you can see this type of arrangement is seen in silk. So here is the common point and many leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So From one point many leaves means here 6 leaves are arise. So this type of phyllotaxy or arrangement of leaves is called whorl. So this is your alternate, this is opposite, and this one is whorl. Clear, students? Next is your modification of leaves. As I have studied in case of root modification, in case of stem modification, why they are modified. I have told you, when any part of the plant does other than its original function, then it get modified. Exactly the same happens in case of leaf also. Means when the leaves, the function of leaf is to synthesize the food, but here except photosynthesis, the leaves also do some other functions or other works. And what are the work? You can see here, it is converted into tendril in P for support. So here tendril support, for support means tendril is get converted, the leaf get converted into tendril. In case of P, which is your called Motterfully, the leaf of P is tendril, means here leaf modified to tendril to give support. Clear? Next is your Opuntia. Opuntia is a leaf, and here its leaves are modified into spines, means here for protection. Here for protection. In case of P, for support. So leaf is modified for support, then for protection. Again leaf also, like stem and root, stores food. You ate onions, garlics. Do you know what are they? You are eating. They are leaves. They are the fleshy parts we eat in onion or garlic. They are simply the leaf modification. Clear? So here for storing food. Next, you are very known about bryophyllum. I have taught you in class 10th bryophyllum. The leaf is like this. Here some leaf notches are present from which new plants are arise. They are here for reproduction, so vegetative reproduction. So here we study that in case of leaf modification, leaf is modified for support. For example, in case of P, leaf is converted into tendril. For protection, example Opuntia, in which leaf is modified to spines for protection against the predators or other browsers. Next is your onion and garlic, in which leaf is modified into fleshy parts to store food. Again for reproduction, vegetative reproduction, bryophyllum is produce a new plant from its leaf nodes. This is called nodes or leaf node for its reproduction. So here we study 4 different functions of leaf after its modification: for support, for protection, for storing food, and for vegetative propagation. So this is about your leaf. Next we will study flower. First, inflorescence. Let's see what is inflorescence. Inflorescence means arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. Inflorescence means arrangement of flowers on the floral axis, means from where the flowers are arise. So it is of 2 types. One is racemose and another is cymose type. One is racemose and another is cymose. Here you have to understand what is racemose and what is cymose. Remember, in racemose type of arrangement of flowers, the floral axis goes increase and the flowers come along it, and also leaves come along it. Suppose you can see the example. Suppose this is a flower. Here leaves arise. Again flowers. It grows on. It grows on. Continue to grow after arising flowers. This type of arrangement is called racemose type. Racemose type. But in case of cymose type, when flowers arise from the floral axis, the floral axis get terminates, means no more further growth occurs. So you can see this type of growth like your. So this type of means flower is the end position of that floral axis. But here flower is come in middle or between the leaves. So this type of arrangement is called cymose. This is cymose and this is racemose. So what is the difference between? We are studying about inflorescence. Inflorescence means arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. And inflorescence is of two types. One is racemose type and another is cymose type. In racemose type, when the flowers arise from the floral axis, then leaves are also arise and the floral axis tends to increase or grow. But in case of cymose, the floral axis after flowering terminates, means for no more further growth takes place in cymose type. Is that clear? Next is this is about inflorescence. Next is position of ovary. As we know, flower is the most fascinating organ of the plant as it contains the sex organs. So here, before I teach you about its ovary, I have to introduce some words about this part. So let's see what are they. First, we know that flower contains the sex organs, means stamens and pistils. So on this basis, flowers are divided into two types. One is unisexual and another is bisexual. One is unisexual and another is bisexual. The flower is said to be unisexual when it contains either male part or female part. Means we will say it unisexual when it contains either male part or female part. Means either stamen or pistil, any one of male or female part. And in case of bisexual, both stamen and pistil are present. So flower is of two types, unisexual and bisexual. In unisexual, either of the sex organs present, either male part or female part. In case of bisexual, both male and female parts are present, means stamen and pistil both are present. So here some another terms, means whether the flower is actinomorphic, zygomorphic or asymmetry. So what are actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetry? Let's see. Actinomorphic means, one is your actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means when we cut the flower, then it have two equal halves. Not as left right, but two equal halves. Means this is like your radial symmetry. Actinomorphic, or we can say radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means when we cut the flower from the central axis and from any plane, it gives two halves. So this type of division is called actinomorphic. What is it called? Actinomorphic. Then is your next term is zygomorphic. Zygomorphic means this is denoted by the symbol. In biological terms, actinomorphic is denoted as this, and in zygomorphic it is denoted as sign of this percentage sign. So here what happened? In zygomorphic, it is called bilateral symmetry also. Bilateral symmetry. Why bilateral symmetry? Because when we cut the flower, then it gives two equal halves. Here two equal halves, right and left. So here two terms you come across it. One is actinomorphic and another is your zygomorphic. So actinomorphic, in which radial type of symmetry we can see, and in zygomorphic bilateral symmetry see. In a zygomorphic, the flower is divided into as right and left part, but in zygomorphic, when it cut from any plane, it gives two equal halves, not as left and right. So next term comes is your perianth. Perianth. Before we study the reproduction in flowers, we know some terms. Next is your perianth. Perianth means, in case of the flowers of lily family, lily family means lotus, lily. So in this case, both sepals and petals can't be differentiated from each other. Means, what is perianth? Perianth means when sepals and petals are unable to differentiate, means it is too difficult or a daunting task for identifying us which is the sepal or which is the petal. Means they are looks alike, they are equal in shape and size. If you saw, then this looks like, you can't differentiate which is the sepal and which is the petal. Means this is sepal, this is petal, but they are same. That's why this term is called perianth. Clear? So here I have explained you some terms, and in next class we will study about different parts of a flower.